Okay, just a couple of days to go after a long break that the two teams have had in England and India for the third test match, and it's set up really nicely considering the series is at 1-1. All eyes on Rajkot now. Both the teams have reached, the latest being the English team. You already have the update of the English team, the rival, those exclusive shots on Sports Today you can check out. But once the teams are there, they're practicing. So various latest updates coming in from Rajkot, and that's what we'll touch upon. And of course, the biggest headline there, if yesterday was all about the injuries and who's missing out and who's playing, today it's all about those 22 yards, as is always the case whenever there is a series in India. What is it that the strip, the pitch, the wicket, or various other names that we call it by, looks like, because that is going to determine how the next 4-5 days are going to pan out if the test match does go that distance. So some of the updates I'm going to share, and then I'll hand it over to Shane. I mean, there is update on Ben Stokes, who's been bowling quite regularly, which is again different to what we've been seeing so far. So Ben Stokes rolling his arm over in Rajkot, probably a suggestion as to how the pitch is going to be. There were visuals that have emerged from Rajkot where you have the new look Indian middle order, all of them standing in the slips. So you had Sarfraz standing in the slips trying to take a few catches. You had Patidar standing in the slips too. Is that an indication that you're going to have both of them playing, one playing just his second test match, one going to be making a debut? Also visuals emerging from practice session of Dhruv Jurel being the wicketkeeper in training. So that in itself is telling you a lot. As I said, there's plenty of buzz activity in Rajkot, which is giving us an idea as to what the team could be like, what the pitch could be like, what the team combination is going to be like. And so since I've been tracking all those developments, the cricket fan in me is very excited, because as soon as these little bits of information keep trickling in, you are, that picture that was blurred at the moment as to the test match or what's going to happen is becoming clearer and clearer by the day. I think today it's become a lot more clear in terms of all those questions that we have in mind. By tomorrow, it'll be crystal clear, I'm hoping. So Ben Stokes bowling, a good chance. Jurel making his debut, a good chance. Sarfraz making his debut. Kuldeep Yadav coming to the press conference, also kind of telling you most likely that he will be playing, because there was going to be a toss-up between Kuldeep Yadav, Akshar Patel. So that's giving us an indication to all of that we're going to touch upon. But Shane, I think Kuldeep came, spoke to the media. Yeah. What all has he said? What is the one or two big highlights from that press conference?
I mean, you're talking about him saying he will start, but the actual exact line he said is, I don't know if I'm in the 11.
No, but that's a line that he has taken.
Yeah.
Because he can't come out and say that I'm playing before the team is announced. I'm saying the fact that he's come for a press conference is kind of telling me that he's playing. I mean, though funnier things have happened.
Especially with Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah, but in those occasions, you knew that he wasn't playing and he wasn't even sent for press conference. The fact that he came to share his thoughts about how the team is prepping up. Also, we'll get into the cricketing merit of why he should be playing a little later. But the fact that he came, addressed the media, is kind of telling you that he is. Just as you all but know that Sarfraz may be making his debut or Jurel may be making his debut. Similarly, I think Kuldeep will be playing. But yeah, Kuldeep being Kuldeep, once bitten, twice shy, is never going to come out and say, no, I'm playing. Even if he's been told he's playing.
In fact, it's even funnier because someone asked him, one of the first questions someone asked him was, how do you look back at your test career? He says, listen, I'm very proud of it. Saying, whenever I've gotten a chance to play, I've done well. 3-5 wicket hauls. But the key is, whenever I've gotten a chance to play, I think he's played, 9 tests. Yeah. He's not yet cracked double figures. And I mean, heading into this test match, you'll be seeing Ben Stokes playing his 100th test match. Ashwin, I think, will be playing his 100th test match in the final test of this series. He'll be reaching that magic number then. I mean, this is someone who's been around for at least half a decade at this point, played so few tests, so him saying that always does give that little tinge of this thing. But yeah, I don't think he would have been addressing the team, the press conference, if that wasn't the case. Having said that, two very interesting things he talked about, and I think he's one of the first bowlers to come out and admit that bowling to Bazball era England means you sometimes are a little defensive. He said,
he said that.
Yeah, he said
because I read where he spoke about that he's loving bowling in this patch.
Yeah, he's saying I love bowling here because quite frankly, if they're playing such attacking shots, you're always in the game. Saying, but it's also a rare thing because in Test match cricket, normally you aren't thinking about saving runs. You're thinking I'll bowl attacking lines, I'll get the wickets. Saying, but here these guys are going so aggressive that sometimes you do get into that mode a little bit. That was one interesting thing which he said. He's saying that you're looking to restrict them, not just looking to take their wickets.
Just a word on that, and I've been meaning to say this for a long time. Love Kuldeep Yadav's positive attitude. As Shane talks about playing just 9 test matches. I think the last test match that he played was after a gap of 15 months. It's very easy for you to let your shoulders down and be upset about it, but he's one cheerful guy. I've even observed him very closely when he's with the Indian team, so he's one of those happy-go-lucky, always jovial sort of a guy. To keep yourself in this positive frame of mind despite you knowing somewhere at the back of your head that justice is not being served to you, in that sense that you're not getting to play as much as you deserve to, yet always being positive is not easy. Secondly, the fact that this is what I like, and which is why I think he's a wicket taker. It's not based on just his skill, and that's why they say the spin bowling is also about how you are mentally. The fact that he's come out and said that yes, you're on the back foot, but I love bowling in this era, it's kind of telling him that he has the big heart that a spinner needs. A spinner, we always say a good spinner is not the one that he always has skill, but should have the big heart of it's okay, you come attacking, but that also gives me a chance. What white ball cricket has done in the recent time has made spinners defensive, ensured that they look at not leaking a lot of runs. Wicket comes as a byproduct, that's okay, but not leaking a lot of runs. Kuldeep in that sense is still quite old school, who's saying okay fine, go for as many runs as you want, you're giving me a chance. Having said that, I was just looking at his figures last time, he picked up those 3 wickets out of his 4 in the first innings, 1 in the second, and in the second innings was the most economical. So it's not that they could get a lot of runs against him, and even though he doesn't bother about it. So I love his attitude, and that's why for me, whatever said and done, whether it's an indication he coming to the press conference, not playing, I think Ian Chappell summed it up best in his column yesterday, where he came out and said that let this be that moment where you stop overestimating Shreyas Iyyar's batting ability and underestimating Kuldeep Yadav's wicket-taking ability. Let this be that moment. And I think the Indian team is kind of recognizing that.
I really hope they do. Because again, if you go over even his figures, he's got 3 5-wicket hauls in tests, 9 tests, 100 ODIs, he's got 2 5-wicket hauls. So this guy is a demon in test match cricket, should be playing a lot more. But and considering the kind of pitch, and his own assessment on the pitch, by the way, is very interesting. Because he said, look, I think it's going to be a sporting track. I think it's going to be a good track. You're going to see there definitely is runs on offer. That's what he said. Now, of course, after that, some follow-up questions came in where he said, look, I'm not saying they'll score 800 runs in one innings, or that any team can score 800 runs in one innings, but it's also not going to be a rank turner kind of pitch. He's very clear on that.
No, so the visuals are already out of the pitch. If Shivam is kind enough to show us those pictures, they are all over the internet. Multiple people there have put those pictures out, and tell you what, even whatever little we understand of pitches, just looking at that particular pitch, you know that it's definitely not a rank turner. That is 100% sure. It doesn't look as dry as most other pitches. I was reading reports where they said that they've sprayed some kind of a liquid onto the pitch. It's not necessarily water, but it's looking darker than it's really meant to be, which kind of tells you that there's a bit of moisture. The darker the pitch, the more moisture in that pitch. So drier, lighter pitch is what we had gotten used to in the last few series in India, but we saw an image of how the pitch was in Vizag, and it's probably telling you now that you are going that way where you're giving better pitches going forward. Dare I say, this is the most grass that I have seen on an Indian pitch for the longest time, though the grass is still a bit brown in its tinge, also not throughout the pitch, and sometimes it's in the middle area, not really in the good length area. And I know I'm going to add even, and the other rider to that is the fact that we're still 2 days away from the test match starting, and I know that a lot of this grass will be shaved off. I agree to all of that. Still, having said that, even if you to shave off the grass at the last moment, it means that there is still a lot of moisture, that the grass still has a green tinge on it, and even if it was to be removed last moment, it tells me that it's going to be a good pitch. By good pitch, there is no way that we can assess what kind of runs that will be scored on this, because Rajkot, I'm just going by history, can offer you any sort of pitch. This is the Rajkot that allowed Ravindra Jadeja in domestic cricket to get triple hundreds, but this is also the Rajkot that allowed Ravindra Jadeja to wreak havoc with his bowling in domestic cricket. So I remember there was a season or two where test matches or Ranji Trophy matches wouldn't last more than 2 days here. This is also the pitch where you get dull and drab test matches where triple hundreds are scored. I'll give you a latest example. This is the same pitch in January. I think there was a Ranji Trophy match where Pujara got a double hundred, if I'm not mistaken, on this particular pitch. And go back to October, you had an Irani Trophy game in this very pitch where I think the last inning was 69 or 79 they were dismissed for. So it also ensured that a team could not even get past 100. So this is a Rajkot pitch that can offer you anything, but whatever you can see of it, and I now can be rest assured, this is a good pitch, more tilting towards what we saw in Vizag, and that doesn't surprise me because Vizag offered you a pitch that helped you win. Why are you going to change that plan was going to be beyond me. So similar pitch coming your way in Rajkot too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it, I am not going by the grass. You know for a fact they're going to shave a lot of it off. But historically, that's what someone also said to Kuldeep, is that historically this pitch, it has offered an extreme turn sometimes. Each equal replies, well then good for us. If it does. But I don't think this is going to be that sort of a pitch. I think it's going to be a lot more on the sporting side. You're going to get turn, but maybe by day 3. At least that's what the first glance tells me. I could be wrong.
I even feel that the grass on the wicket could be sort of a bluff at this point, because still 2 days prior to the test match, they are going to get rid of the grass as we get closer to the test match. But also a reason for the grass being there could be that usually grass is left on the wicket because it holds the wicket together. So once you get, and the reason for that could be that they do not want the wicket to break as soon instantly. So as soon as you get, as soon as they shave off the grass, I think the cracks, like the places or the two ends have a lot of cracks on them. So as soon as you get rid of the grass, I think the cracks might just end up opening, and you must, I don't think it's going to be as good as Vizag.
No, the fact that you have even allowed the pitch to be held together is a big improvement. You didn't even allow that to happen earlier. And even if you are doing it in the hope that the cracks open up by day 3 and it starts offering turn, even that's a progress from the situation where you were hoping it would turn from day 1. So I think what happened in Vizag is, see again, Rahul Dravid has mentioned, everyone mentioned, even there the Indian team expected it to start turning from day 3. It's just that it did not, because as you know, pitch is not an exact science. You would have ideally wanted a pitch like that which starts turning from day 3 onwards, but it just didn't happen because there is nobody in this planet, no groundsman, no pitch doctor, whatever you look at, who can tell you exactly how a pitch will behave. You can attempt to mimicking, and I'm sure the attempt even in Vizag was to have a typical Indian pitch. I talk about typical Indian pitch, the ones that we used to get for the longest time, where first 2 days are good or batting, day 3 starts turning, 4 and 5 are very tough. It just didn't work out like that. It remained good for batting even till the end, against the expectations of I think both the teams. Neither teams expected that. Obviously you wouldn't want that. You would again try to attempt to make a pitch like the one you attempted in Vizag but could not turn out that way. Again you're attempting for a pitch like that. Whether this plays out like that or not, I don't know. As I said, traditionally Rajkot has given you 2 extremes. Absolute extremes, not the recent examples, even in the past. So you can get the pitch that you want, but if you want a perfect pitch which is good for batting the first 2-3 days and then start spinning, then it is the luck of the draw. It is hoping that it comes good, but nobody for certainty. But I think if I was the English team, for me even that is a start. The fact that you are even leaving grass 2 days before, and I said that at the start, 100% this grass is being shaved off by the time the game starts. But the fact that even if you're leaving it is a big start for an England team, because if you remember the first test match in Hyderabad, the day they landed, they knew that this was the driest surface of them all. It still turned out to be a slow turner, but this probably would be slightly better than that first game that you got not as slow a turner. The other thing that this will do is allow you that extra bounce, and that's another trait of Rajkot. Because of the red soil that you get there, it sometimes allows that extra bounce, which is why again it tells me a Kuldeep Yadav is 100% playing, because that extra bounce that a Kuldeep Yadav or any wrist spinner would get will be very, very essential for any team. So I guess.
Don't you think that because the weather isn't that cold in Rajkot at this point, and
I don't know how it is.
no, it's a little hot. It's like on the late 20s, like on
late 20s, amazing,
29, 30ish.
Amazing weather.
Still
for Rajkot, which in summers will go past 40.
For Rajkot, amazing. Of course, we're used to different weathers in NCR. So,
but I think this wicket, just having the look of it, I still feel that it might just start turning from second day itself.
No,
once the grass.
I wouldn't be as adventurous, but then I'm not Shashwat.
I don't know. I think they're trying at least for the traditional.
Yeah.
2 good days of batting, then it starts to get worse to play. Of course, that sort of pitch also has one other disadvantage, is that the toss is very key then. Because if you win the toss, bat first.
Well, that's what we thought at least last time. Didn't quite turn out that way. We thought that, if you remember, as soon as Rohit Sharma won, we looked at Ben Stokes, the rise that he had, and we're like, oh, done, dusted. The team batting last is going to struggle. Just didn't work out that way. Which is what, I mean, I'm just, as I said, there is no way of exactly predicting, but I'm just happy that you have moved 180 degrees, the Indian team in the mindset. Just a few months ago, you were in a situation where you were saying, nothing doing, the ball's turning, 2-day test match, 2.5-day test match. I don't know whether it's baseball. I don't know whether it is prompted by India's own situation right now with lack of experience in their batting order, with no Virat Kohli around, with injury to a KL Rahul, disciplinary action against Shreyas Iyer and Shan Kishan. Whether it is prompted by that we have an inexperienced batting lineup, so let's go with that, or is prompted by the fact that they're playing baseball, so why allow them to play play baseball in a turning track where baseball may still sometime as a gamble work, but we may struggle. It's prompted by their own weakness to play spin bowling. Whether it's prompted by the fact that, listen, we have better spinners, so even on a flat track they can take wickets, but the opposition inexperienced spinners may struggle. There could be various reasons, but I'm just happy that India has, now it's pretty certain, now this is the 3rd test match, now you pretty much know which way or what your mindset is in terms of preparing pitch. That I still think never say never. If you lose a test match, don't know what happens in the 4th test match suddenly, but at least at the moment it seems like India has said no, we're getting away from those 2-day test match pitches which we got used to in the last 3 years. We're trying to, at least attempting to get those good old Indian pitches that we would get. That itself is a major improvement for me, and as a fan, I'm happy to see that, because fans pay good money to come watch those test matches. I think you build up test matches quite often, and you wanted to go to day 3, day 4. It wasn't happening for the longest time in India.
Day 3 was a miracle.
Yeah. So happy that at least that start has been made.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're looking at, trusting, I think, your own bowling lineup, because again, you do have, if you're playing Ashwin and Kuldeep, that's 2 very skillful spinners. Ashwin, I know nowadays the perception seems to be that, finger spinners, thing of the past, but test cricket, they still have a very important role to play. Skill, guile will often come into play in flatter conditions. You saw Nathan Lyon trouble the English batters in relatively flatter conditions in England.
Yeah.
No coincidence that they were able to come back 2 tests and after he was out injured. That you've got a Kuldeep, may as well just back your own spinners to do the job.
So all of them playing? How many of them are playing?
I would struggle to accommodate Akshar if I'm picking my 11.
So Ashwin's playing 100%.
Yeah.
Jadeja is fit, we know, available. He's playing 100%, right?
Yeah.
And
Kuldeep is playing 100%.
I think that's what I
think that Kuldeep would definitely be playing. But I think again that would be a change in mindset by the Indian side, because recently we have seen whenever the batting, you're not certain about your batting, you've usually gone with an extra batting option, and that would have been Aksar in this scenario. Especially, and that too you have done when you have had a Virat, a KL, a Rohit, all of them doing well. Still you have not gone with a Kuldeep, and you have gone with people who can give you batting lower down the order. So now I don't know only.
You're not sure who Kuldeep is playing?
No, now this time I'm sure. That's why I'm saying it's a very big change in mindset by the Indian team also, now that they're going with the best bowlers and not taking into consideration the fact that an Akshar Patel can give you runs with the bat.
Yeah, because that's what they did first test match.
Yeah. But
they did that.
The approach in your first test match and now has drastically changed, because in the first test match you still gave them a more of a rank turner as compared to the other two. Now if this is how the wicket is going to play, like how it actually looks at this point, then I think still Kuldeep Yadav, what he has done in the previous match, I think because of that there's a lot of reason that the team would still go with Kuldeep.
Another reason would be the way Akshar was mercilessly targeted by the English batters. I think he's a good bowler if the conditions are right. But again, if it's not one of those gadda pitches, does tend to be looking a little ordinary sometimes. And that's not a slight. Not everyone is going to be, the next coming of Bishan Singh Bedi as a left arm spinner. That's fine. But he can be a little limited. Where it might win out is if they want to stack the batting. But I think you'd previously also stack your batting. And why Akshar was so valuable was he gave you a third spin option. And second, gave you batting depth on conditions you were a lottery. This isn't so much of a lottery. Yeah. I think 7 batters should do the trick.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say, one, of course, I agree, the bowling ability of Kuldeep makes him favourite. But the fact that if it's not going to be a lottery sort of a pitch to bat on, then I think you will rely, you don't want to strengthen your batting. I think the first test match, your worry was that, listen, if it's going to be that rank turner or, those pitches that only last 2-3 days, then bowling though will make do with 2 good bowlers, they'll do the job for us, but batting we may not be able to. But now if it's a good pitch to bat on, then you expect your batters to step up, and then you're saying, listen, now our bowling needs to be strengthened, right? So you work it, and if you want to strengthen your bowling, then I think it's a no-brainer between Akshar and Kuldeep. You just pick Kuldeep. So that's why Kuldeep, and you'll have Ashwin and Jadeja, and you're going to have Bumrah. The one way you can fit in an Akshar is if you go with another spinner and not play the second fast bowler, because in both your test matches, that's one area whether Siraj, who played the first test, or whether Mukesh, who played the second test, didn't have too much bowling to do anyway. So that's one option that you think, okay, we'll keep up 4 bowlers only. So you're looking at the 3 spinners and Bumrah only to do the job most of the time, because again, as Kuldeep also points out, that yes, it'll get you runs, but this is not a 600 sort of a pitch. So if it's not that much bowling, then maybe your 4 bowlers should be enough to rotate in a given day.
Shouldn't it be Washington Sundar who comes in, because then he'll give you an off-spin option also, and also...
The option though you have Ashwin.
And then you'll have a better batsman also in those terms.
But I'm just saying the only difference is that because Akshar has been playing this series now.
Correct.
And you wouldn't want to drop him, that's why.
No, you could drop him for the bowler, but I'm saying if you're now looking at a bowling all-rounder sort of a slot to fill, so that you're okay with only one fast bowler going, and so you want another spinner, and then it's a choice between Washington and Akshar. I still go with Akshar because he's been playing the series, has been getting you runs, has looked confident with the bat, also a left-hander. So you're saying, okay, between that, I'll still play an Akshar Patel and remove that second fast bowler. But would you do that?
On this kind of a track? No. Because especially if you consider that the second pacer in this case will be Siraj and not Mukesh.
But he played first test.
Wasn't very good, admittedly. But I still have a lot of faith in him. He's someone who has done well in Test cricket. And he has that ability, when he strikes form, he can run through teams. Yeah. So I'd stick with him and I'd keep Bumrah alongside him. Play 2 pacers and these would be your...
So Akshar sits out.
Yeah, I would sit out Akshar and still go with Mohammad Siraj because of 2 reasons. Firstly, I agree with Chain sir that he can run through what you saw Bumrah doing in the last test match, both the innings. Even Siraj can do that, not so frequently, but yeah, he definitely has that ability, and we have seen that in the past. Secondly, if you cannot trust your top 7 batters, then I don't think an 8th batting option would actually help you that much.
And plus, I think, apart from what I may feel, I think the Indian team is definitely playing 2 fast bowlers. Why? Is one, because of the nature of pitch that we're expecting it to help in that sense, assist batters, so not really a rank turner. Secondly, the fact that they've kept Mukesh and also got an Akashdeep is kind of telling you that you're minimum playing 2 fast bowlers. That's why you need that kind of backup. Had the Indian team even thought about playing just 1, let's say if this was in their thought process, then I don't think you would have even called an Akashdeep. I think 2 backups in that sense would have been enough. So I think that's indication enough when the team was announced that you're definitely playing 2 fast bowlers. So while this is an option and we're just discussing option, I kind of agree with Shane and Shashwat that you are playing two fast bowlers. In this case, it's definitely going to be Siraj and Bumrah, and I think that's much needed as well. So let's bet your best fast bowlers to do the job. You play that. Your three spinners, I agree. Akshar goes out, and then you expect your batters to do the job. Maybe you are slightly more hopeful. The one reason that you needed cushion for your batting was because KS Bharat, the batter, hadn't really turned up. But now that the reports are suggesting that Jurel will play, at least you would have hope from Jurel, the batter. Whether he comes good or not is another thing, but at least when you're looking at the combination of the team, you would have a higher hopes from Jurel, the batter, than you would have had from KS Bharat, the batter, which is why the need to have that cushion. But now maybe, as it's being suggested, Jurel is your friend. Jurel is making.
No, he's not my friend. But I also feel that.
My question is whether.
Yeah, he is definitely making. And said this after the second test itself.
You said KS will play.
No, everyone else said that KS will definitely play.
Shashwat, you are गिरे तो भी टांग ऊपर. I'll tell you what you said. You said you would want a Jurel to play.
Yeah.
But you know that KS Bharat.
We'll check this after this. But I remember very clearly. But anyways, and Dhruv Jurel, why I would be also happy that Dhruv Jurel would come in the team. That even if KS Bharat was giving you 20-25 odd runs, but if Dhruv Jurel ends up giving you 25 runs, they would have much more impact than what the runs someone like a KS Bharat would have given.
How is that?
I feel that.
But how is his 25
I think he means by quick.
It's not just
quick. To even Bharat tried, it just didn't happen.
Yeah,
it never happens.
But I think Jurel.
But he's saying Jurel's 25 would have been more impactful then.
I think what he means is that he thinks Jurel will play with more intent.
Yeah.
KS is a little bit more on the classical mold.
On those 25 runs, always the bowling team would always hope that okay, now we are going to get him. Now we are going to get him. Now we are going to get him. I don't think that's going to be the case with Dhruv Jurel.
I don't know. I mean, you're up against a debutant. It's not foolproof versus foolish. I think it's equal footing really, and the only reason you're going for Dhruv Jurel is because you say and again, this is a very, let's say, negative reading on biases, that he can't probably do much worse than what KS has done at this point. His keeping has been solid, but not
benchmark
the benchmark is low, let's be frank. And your benchmark has been low ever since Pant has not been available for tests. Because you never had a backup for him, and now it's being totally exposed.
Yes, Shivam.
Any chance for Padikkal?
No.
I wouldn't be shocked.
No, you left-hand batsmen we discussed. Now they've got enough left-hand. Now you've got on top. You start with Yashasvi. There's a left-hander. Now Jadeja is back. He's a left-hander in the team.
I don't think you're going. Left-hander doesn't matter. I think you're going to go with who was there first. Sarfaraz was there first, and there's enough media chatter also saying it will be him.
Yeah, even I think it's going to be Sarfaraz. Finally, he deserves it.
Yesterday you were saying it could be Padikkal.
No, I still wouldn't be shocked.
No, he covers both bases. So what he'll say, I'll tell you. He'll say, no, Sarfaraz is making his debut, but I wouldn't be shocked that Padikkal will make it. He'll say, 1 week later he said, everyone said that Sarfaraz, but I was the only one who said Padikkal.
I'm still giving it.
Because he,
covers both bases.
Yeah, absolutely. Puts his leg in both sides and says.
No, it's going to be.
So then you'll say, he said Sarfaraz is making his debut, but I would not be surprised if Padikkal plays. So see, I was the only one.
I'll be surprised if Padikkal plays. Honestly, it has to be Sarfaraz.
Yeah,
has to be Sarfaraz.
Why would you not be surprised? What is?
Because again, I feel that the same. Firstly, left-handed. Maybe the team would want to go with another left-hand batting option, and also the brand of cricket he's been playing since a very long time. And the impact.
So play Akshar Patel then as a batter, left-hander. He's getting runs. He's, by the way, looking, look much better than some of our batters.
He has a decent
Don't look at him. So you play your 2 fast bowlers, you play your 3 spinners. Don't look at him only as a bowler. I mean, Akshar might say that. That consider me as a batter.
I mean, he saved you in that Delhi test last year against Australia.
Yeah, I remember.
Him and Ashwin, that partnership, if they're not put on, you wouldn't have been. I think you could have been batted out of that test match.
And that was even counter-attacking knock.
Exactly. Yeah. So he can bat well. And yesterday we were suggesting, and of course it doesn't seem like it's happening. But again, if you consider him and play him as a pure batter, thinking, pitch by 4th day might be turning enough that a 4th spinner might not be the worst option, could go for it.
So here's your likely 11. You have in the beginning Yashasvi Jaiswal with Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Shubman Gill. Number 4 is now going to be Patidar. Imagine, just playing. Just actually look at it. Playing his 2nd test match. He's now India's number 4. And number 4 is Sachin Tendulkars of the world. Virat Kohlis of the world have been your number 4, and it's going to be a Rajat Patidar. At number 4 walks out, right? Number 5 then will be Sarfraz.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 6 then will be Jadeja, I think, most likely. A left-hander will come in. Number 7 then Jurel. Number 8 then you will have an Ashwin. Number 9 Kuldeep. And 10 Bumrah, 11 Siraj. This is
That would be your 11.
This will be your 11, but
In the same
now,
order.
In the same order. But just look at it. Now, I just didn't think of it earlier, but now that I was making the 11, number 4 is a 1 test match old.
No, we are used to the...
Patidar.
And
And number 5 is a debutant.
Number 7 is a debutant.
Your number 5s used to be VVS Lakshman, Saurav Gangulis of the world, sometime MS Dhoni.
But even they started at their
Yeah,
first
I'm
test
just
match.
trying to think, just looking at this. I'm just saying, a Yuvraj Singh today, I agree that he didn't make the best opportunity count in terms of the chances that he got in test match. I agree all that. He played in that era of a Sachin, a Dravid, a VVS, a Saurav Ganguly and MS Dhoni middle order test match. That was one of the biggest reasons why he would not break through that test match. I'm saying if Yuvraj Singh was in this era, he would be probably the second or the third name that you would write on your test team, right? With whatever chances I'm just saying, just thought of it. Imagine which era you're born in and when you're playing. He did not get those many chances, and I won't blame anyone. Maybe because I just named that batting order. That's the batting order that he had to contend with. And even when he was kind of fading, then you had the next gen coming up of the Virat Kohlis of the world. So he was competing with them and could not. Imagine he must be thinking today, like, if I was Yuvraj Singh, I'd be thinking like, I wish I was a 24-year-old now coming into domestic cricket. Boom, I was playing. He would have been playing.
But
test
would the
cricket.
24-year-old Yuvraj Singh today given that much importance to red ball cricket?
No, I'm saying, again, assuming he was like the Yuvraj Singh of that time. And you knew that he gave importance because of the generation he grew up, where his father's first dream was, and no, he's often said it, that I think that's one area where he thought he's underachieved, which he would have wanted to have done well. He got some chances. He played some notable knocks also in test match cricket. The one that I remember is that Chennai test match, that record chase against England, the 380 plus chase that they had. He got a good knock going there. So, but I'm just saying today if he was there, imagine he'd be like, I wish I was born in this era. Your number 4 is a Rajat. I mean, taking nothing away from him. Maybe he goes on to become a very good bat. I like whatever I saw of Patidar in that test match. Your Sarfraz is going to be a debutant playing there. If he had played, if he had been in this generation, would have been like, wow.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. It's sometimes you are a little unlucky because if you look at his first class numbers, they're not terrible. I mean, 44 average, nearly 9,000 runs. Test match, however, I think he struggled to make the step up.
But in those days, you played first class cricket.
Exactly.
No matter how big a white ball star you were, you had to play first class cricket.
Look at the amount of games, 40 tests. So, okay, you remove those also. That's 99 first class domestic games he played. Christ. That's a lot. And this is a guy who was very much an all format player.
Yep.
He played ODIs, he played T20Is, he played every format.
That's what I'm saying. The generation was different. Even though he's just the one generation before. I'm not even talking about 2-3 generations, just that one generation before. But even till that time, this domestic cricket was still considered that important. So why was he playing? Why did he play close to 100 Ranji Trophy matches or first class matches? Because his desire to play test cricket, or a desire to got 40 test matches, averaging 34. So 300s at that. I'm sure he was a much better player than these numbers. But if he was in this generation, believe you me, he'd be your number 4.
He'd be a number 4 comfortably because again,
if Virat was injured, so otherwise he'd be your number 5.
And we're talking about Patidar. I mean, Patidar, people are saying, oh, you're giving promising youngsters a chance. I'm like, he's 30. No disrespect to the guy, but he's 30.
How old is your next debutant?
Sarfraz, 26.
Are you sure?
Officially. On paper.
Exactly.
On paper, he's 26.
Yeah. Because I won't be surprised if it's
Few years.
Yeah. Very close to Patidar.
Yeah, could be close to Patidar, not
No,
matching Patidar.
I'm saying it because
There's been murmurs.
Yeah. So, no, but that's okay. I mean, he deserves a debut. Doesn't matter at whatever age.
Even then, I mean, if you're looking at it now, it's taking a lot longer. And of course, again, that takes you back to the debate. Are you bringing in test players young enough? Because if it took even a Sarfaraz 3 seasons of outstanding Ranji Trophy to even get a peak.
Neither Padikkal could be.
Padikkal just had one good season. Now also, he's not young.
He's 25, 26.
25, 26 is not young. That's my point.
No,
in
cricketing cricket, I think 25, 26 could be fine.
Mike Hussey, when he made his debut, was 28 and people considered him an old man because he had nearly 15,000 domestic runs before he made his debut. The days of bringing in players young, at least in India, are long gone. Abroad, you still see it. I mean, you look at even the England team of now. Hartley is what, 23, 24.
Yeah.
Shoaib Bashir is 20. And they are all eye test players. They're like, oh, he has a high release point. One has a high release point. One bowls like Jadeja. Let's throw them in there. But those are the whims you actually went with in, old school days. You don't do that now. Now you're like, no, let them prove them, which is great. But how long before you keep, no way.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's not
Tell
old.
everyone.
23? David Padikkal is 23?
Yeah, he's not, no, but he's not. I remember him being 23.
Not even from north of India that I can.
There's no way
He was 23, I think, when he made his debut in the IPL.
Exactly.
No, he cannot be 23. I think there's some glitch over here.
He was in his 20s when if this is going
Even
by,
that is not 26.
No,
That is
the 23 is next level bad because you're trying to tell me that he was 19 years old when he made his debut. Not 19, he made his debut in 20, which is the year he had that one good season for RCB.
No, you mean debut in IPL.
In IPL, in IPL.
20,
Was it the COVID year?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
20.
When Venkatesh Iyer also had a great.
But Venkatesh Iyer had a good 2021. That Padikkal's good season was 20. 2020 means nearly 4. There was no way he was 19.
He's not 23.
Come on.
No, I remember he was 23 at that time. I remember checking his age then. But why would someone get their age done something with it after they have played?
You interviewed a 12-year-old Ranji Trophy cricketer from Bihar.
There's no way he's 23.
So there's your answer.
No,
and that's why I just want to extend that point. Lately, what is the biggest news we've been discussing? That BCCI is coming down hard on players
Ranji
playing Ranji Trophy. But I think they need to come down hard on even other evils in our cricketing system. The number one is age fraud. It is the biggest evil in our system. It is what will ruin your system, which is what you keep giving you false hope in terms of where you are. And this is the biggest problem why a lot of deserving kids are falling out.
Yeah.
The ones who are doing their correct age. So when they are actually 18, they are playing with some 24, 25 year olds and they're obviously not looking that good. So they feel that they're not good enough and they drop out. This is the biggest evil, bigger than some prima donnas not playing first class cricket. I know you have to deal with it, which is fine. But there are many other things where you really need to put your foot down. The BCCI needs to, and the number one of that is age fraud. And now to get even more strict with your norms, you're getting even easier. Where you now have nothing but just one medical officer who will agree. So good luck with that.
There's no way this is true. Not
will
a
happen.
chance. 19 years when he made his debut, please.
No, he wasn't 19.
Exactly. I remember him being in his early 20s back then, and he's in his early 20s now. What rubbish.
I told you, when 12-year-old can play, 12-year-old who was sitting next to him looking the same age as him. And he was doing his interview.
At least with him, we know his age.
Yeah.
And I haven't fudged mine. That's so sure.
No, the funniest age fudging at one point I remember, and in India it's endemic, not just in sport, by the way. I'll give you another example at one point, and this is my childhood I'm remembering. But as years went on, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, and Amir Khan, all of their ages started coming together. I'm like, that's not possible.
Won't they always?
No. There is a significant age gap between the three of them. Shah Rukh is the youngest. And their ages were all the same. So I'm like, now who's fudging their age here? So it happens. It happens not just even in.
I don't think he's. I seriously don't think this age of. There's some issue with
the
the
glitch
data.
with the websites.
Yeah.
Acha, we'll do.
Well, let's hope.
Just
Rechecking.
that 12-year-old was 12-year-old.
Yeah, he too was here also. He was
26-year-old 100% is going to make his debut.
That you know more about.
Okay, chalo bhai, Swal dev.
No, but some players from the Pakistan, I just read that question, look 30 years plus. Under 19 World Cup. That's Zishan.
Zishan.
Yeah.
So
Arey,
second website is also saying 23. Everywhere it's
cannot-
saying
no,
that. Anyway.
all websites will be taking the sourcing from the same place. No.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
Hanji. What is D saying? India should have only 7 to 8 test venues, at least for England and Australia, if not all. Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Nagpur, Mohali. Imagine no India, Australia in Eden since 2001. This we've spoken about it earlier, but it's a catch-22 situation. While I agree that big center should be given, but the other problem I see with that is that we were seeing even for big series that crowds were not coming, even in big centers. I'm afraid to say that was a reality. For a lot of test matches, crowds weren't turning in. And if you are a small town guy or running a center in relatively smaller town, why would they not deserve to host a big test match? I think this is quite democratic a system where it's being rotated to all centers. Provided the grounds are good, the pitches are good, the dressing rooms are fine, the hotels available is fine, then what is the problem? I'm all for spreading the game. It does not belong to just 5-6 cities. It does not. That was the case earlier, because earlier you did not have hotel facilities. The grounds were really in bad condition. I'll give you an example of Ranchi. I went there recently, about a year ago. Mighty impressed with the new stadium. Very, very good. Very, very good. I stay in Delhi. Might I add that a lot of these stadiums in these B towns are much better than
The Delhi Stadium.
Firoz Shah Kotla.
Any day.
So why shouldn't they also get? So I'm all for it being spread. Yes, it carried on for many years. Doesn't mean it's a norm and it should continue. If things are changing, so be it. I think people from Ranchi, from Rajkot also deserve to see an India, Australia, India, England. Why should it only be reserved for people like myself in Delhi or people who stay in Kolkata or Chennai and Bangalore? Why? Now that there are, as I said, there should be good facilities, training facilities, main ground, pitches, dressing rooms, hotels, transport, all of that has to be top notch, which now it is preaching. Does anyone have a problem?
No.
You can have a contrary opinion.
No, but I think that's a really good thing that it's been taken to smaller centers, because that's automatically increasing the craze. People from small cities really like to go and watch a Virat
Good
Kohli
crowd in Vizag, last
Exactly.
test match. I'm sorry, a lot of those test matches I remember, not a lot of people were turning up to the grounds.
Yeah, they don't.
And Delhi, Kolkata, a lot of these cities were guilty of that. So, yeah. Nilesh Sharma.
Says he's an Indian fan, not Earthian.
Good.
But I want to ask, Pujara is younger than Rohit. He has better achievements in tests, but has aged when it comes to playing test match cricket. Rohit with middling returns though can play.
But I tell you, I think Rohit had better returns. Let's be honest. Rohit had better returns than a Cheteshwar Pujara. I think in the recent past. And I'm a huge Cheteshwar Pujara fan, by the way. But in the recent past, he did. And the Indian team did keep going back to Pujara. I think that wasn't working out. Rohit also is playing in a different role where he is opening. Having said that, I think even Rohit knows that this is going to be a make or break series for him as a test captain and a player. Anyway, I don't see Rohit Sharma playing too many more years of international cricket. He'll have to give up a format or two. So I agree with you that there's going to be scrutiny about Rohit Sharma as well. Sometime as captain you can survive that scrutiny a bit, which has happened to previous captains as well, and I think that will be extended to him. But sure, going forward you'll have to see. But having said that, I think the last 2-3 years he's been one of your better test players.
But you don't even have a backup option for your captaincy as of now, and I don't see that happening in near future.
But then there is also an argument which I kind of buy into, that you don't pick your captain and then the 11. You pick your 11 and then make the captain. I believe in that formula.
But then the problem with that is that when you make the 11 and then pick your captain, it's not certain that the captain you're picking from that 11 would be a certainty in all the 11s.
That's fine. Let them.
No, but it doesn't have to be all. Why don't you have different captains for different formats?
No. I'm talking about just particularly tests. I'm saying if you pick one player, if you pick the 11, you pick a captain, it's not a necessity that the same 11 would play the next time, and that player, what if that player doesn't ends up in bad form, then again you're going to stick with him because
so you'll
he's
have
the
to
captain.
So you'll have to.
That's
you'll
the
have
gamble.
to.
That's the gamble.
But you have
take that
to.
gamble.
Whom would you make the test captain if today as a backup?
Right now I can't make the 11.
But still, if you have
You're
to
getting debutants and debutants are coming in.
That's the
See, you were preparing a KL Rahul as your next captain. You were. And then he lost his form, he was out. But if you see, just very recently, he's had better returns than Rohit. He has with the bat. Right? You like it or not? That's
won't
the
it
truth.
be too soon to suddenly now first you got him
I'm
back
just
in
saying,
the side?
you just said, but that's
Yeah.
another debate. But I'm just saying, many will say that, I don't know, why don't you look at a bowler? Why don't you make Jasprit Bumrah?
The problem with Jasprit Bumrah is that he might not be able to play all the test matches. Then at times what will happen is that he might forcefully force himself to play a test match because he's a captain, and that could backfire on him.
I'll take that. Yeah. He can skip the IPL and play.
No, not just the IPL, he could even skip the World Cup. because
Never
of
happening.
that.
Yeah, so I'm
That's the
just saying
problem.
you'll have to.
I think see, knowing
See,
India,
as of now, as I said, I don't see another option. This was the right option. See, had Virat not given up the captaincy at that
then
time,
Virat.
maybe it would have been an easier thing. But he gave up his captaincy. He's not going back, and there were signs of that not happening because, you had other opportunities. I remember the England series.
Yeah.
You were looking for a captain, and Virat did not captain. So clearly, he doesn't want to take that responsibility again. So we don't know. I agree. It's not a certain situation, but I think in test matches his form's not been that questionable. But I guess this is a make or break series for even a Rohit Sharma. Yeah.
correct. Singularity says, or is asking multiple questions. Is Iyer's test career over? Is Pujara's alive? Is Sarfaraz finally starting? This is a series filled with birth, death, staying alive, and going with uncertain career.
Okay, lots of questions to answer. I'm not getting into detail. Is Iyer's test career over? I say never say never. At the moment, it looks grim. And by the way, we don't even know whether he's keen to keep it growing. We don't even know. So at the moment, looks grim. But as I said, never say never. Funnier things happen. That's why Pujara is alive. As things stand right now, I doubt that it is. Because if you've reached the stage where you're ready to give multiple debutants in a series and still not go back to him, then I don't see ever that chance emerging. Because sooner or later, a KL is going to be back, a Virat is going to be back. So then slots even reduce. So I doubt that's happening. Sarfaraz finally starting. I think we already answered that in the.
No, I think he means starting as a not just a debut and seeing a sustained run. Could happen. I see why, because again, where we were predicting him to play 5. That's the role he's mostly been playing for Mumbai. But that's also the role KL Rahul has. That being said, how much is KL Rahul going to be available also? This is his
He'll be
injury
back
history.
by the next test game.
No, Harris, I'm just talking about he does have
as
a
a
tendency of getting injured. So therefore, you might very well see Sarfaraz get more opportunities. What if a Patidar doesn't impress as much? What if Kohli is not available for a while longer? You'll see Sarfaraz get that run. So yes, could very well be the proper start of his test career. Okay, so Pranit Datta goes that I think management will back the extra batting of Akshar Patel instead of going with Kuldeep Yadav. Very interesting. Although in my opinion, Kuldeep is always going to be my choice in any Indian 11.
Okay, let's go with our picks. Who do you think is going to be playing? Not what I want, and I won't be surprised when you say both. It's Shashwat always. You have to put your neck on the line and pick one. Who's playing?
Kuldeep.
Yeah, Kuldeep, I think. And this is what we think will happen. Not our choices, right? We are telling what we think will be in the 11. I think India will go with Kuldeep. Yep.
Raveen Dhanappa, I'll take the full name later. India's struggle right now is due to mismanagement, and this is a team in transition. Should have been handled carefully. Mr. Ravi Shastri era. Okay.
But this is also, I don't know, by the way, if truth be told, we had lots of questions about the Indian team, the way it was run even when Ravi was there. We love Ravi Shastri, the man manager. I think he was very good. But there was also a situation where India would not play the same 11 for the longest time.
Horses for courses was...
And Kuldeep Yadav was considered the best spinner, was then dropped. So issues are there everywhere. But I agree with you that, see again, India has taken the tough call of going through a transition. It's never an easy call. So we need to also cut them some slack. It will never be easy. Transitions are never easy. It takes time. You have to be very lucky that everything happens smoothly. So they've taken the tough call. So let's see how it pans out. Allow them a few test matches at least.
Raj asks, why not a Rinku Singh?
Good call.
Why not
Good call,
indeed?
yeah, exactly.
No, because I think, and I'm just theorizing, I think they want to currently keep him fresh for the T20 World Cup. Because you don't want to confuse him right now. Although I agree, his domestic numbers are great. Batting wise, he's been consistently a quiet performer for years. I think give him some time. Let him establish in white ball first.
No, but I think still a good call for him ahead of Devdutt Padikkal because he has had good domestic numbers
For
in
years.
the past also. It's not like that he has now emerged after the time he has made his time in the Indian team. He in fact went back to the Ranji Trophy while after the white ball series also and scored some good 190 also, match saving 90
now
also.
that I think about it, Rinku was called up to the Lions for the Lions tour as well. Actually, could have very well
He was
been
there
him.
with the Indian side in the South Africa also as a backup.
As a
fielder,
backup,
yeah.
I'm just saying he came back, played domestic, then got called up for the Lions tour. I thought maybe he would have been next in line
Yeah, he should have been.
until the younger option in Padikkal emerged.
Much younger.
A. Rian says
Much
that
younger.
Yeah, he's
much younger certainly,
than as compared to Rinku.
Ah, so
and as compared to himself.
Yeah, Rinku's 26 if I'm
Yeah,
not
Rinku's
wrong.
26.
3 years. 3 years.
Yeah, but 26, someone who's been consistently performing in domestics versus someone who's had one good season. I know what I'm picking.
And he's showing the will that you want to see in players. Apparently, the new latest thing you want to see in players that they go to the domestic circuit back and play.
And he does.
And he's showing that.
And
also.
he's an
Then why-
IPL star.
Yeah,
Yet
you can
he's
choose
playing
not
a
to.
lot.
Exactly.
Then why have you gone with Devdutt Padikkal?
He's also playing.
He also did play
1 year.
domestic. Anyway, A. Rian says RJ, I'm assuming that means Rajat Patidar will be batting number 4 tomorrow, you mean
No,
day after.
Ravindra
Jadeja.
Oh, Jadeja.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
RJ.
not RJ. But tomorrow, no, that's day after. I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
Playing at home where he scored tons of runs. Let's hope India wins. That actually could be a very good shout. He's got triple hundreds in Saurashtra conditions.
Right.
Would you
Rajkot.
push him at 4? I think it wouldn't be. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes at number 5 and then Sarfaraz comes at 6.
Oh, but even if he comes at 4, I'm not too surprised.
Not surprised. I've seen him play
Though, can
4.
I be honest, I would still play if I've picked these two batters who are in as proper batters in Patidar and Sarfaraz. I know they're thin on experience. You also need to give them that confidence. Now, these are one of his a debutant playing his second test. If you keep pushing them there, they're also not 100% sure that I don't know how much the team trusts me. I understand that tactically it's an interesting move. Many would be tempted. But I'm saying if I'm the captain and the coach, I'm telling these young boys, yeah, you are the next big thing. You are our number 4, you are our number 5, go.
Correct.
And then let's see, because that confidence if you give them, no, they also feel that no, the team's relying on us. We are important, but we've got to put prize on our wicket rather than everyone's going, okay, now I'm going, not much is expected, but let me give it my best shot. Or they don't think I'm made at this level. Any sort of self-doubt is not great. So I would send them. Mr. Shekhar says, forget Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Iyer is not even 10% of... Acha, forget comparing Iyer to Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma. वो तो दूर है. He's not even 10% of a Pujare, Rahane and Pant in test. At least these guys have scripted greatest Sena wins, unlike Iyer, who cluelessly hopping like a rabbit. Sorry, it is a reality. Nah, I mean, you're also being a bit harsh, Mr. Sekhar, but I will agree that at the moment, you can't compare an Iyer to a Virat
But he
Kohli,
never
Rohit
said
Sharma.
so that I'd compare me with a Virat Kohli.
You did, na?
No,
Yesterday.
I didn't compare.
You said yesterday
I didn't compare. I
that
said,
he comes
yeah,
out and you're like this confidence.
I said that you know that there's a batter who the team could rely on.
Okay.
As compared to a player who's making his debut.
Again, the KS Bharat example which I cited probably holds true here. Could you do much worse? Probably not.
Okay, Sharan Vinakota.
I personally think Akshar is striking the ball very well and should be in the 11. If you go with 2 recent debutants, you're definitely in trouble. I mean, you've seen India do it in Australia.
No, so Sharan is siding on that what we had mentioned that okay fine you in your bowling you've decided to go with it, but just look at Akshar as a pure batter. Like Akshar might also say that hey, why are you considering me as a bowler? Put me in the batting pool and then take a call with him, and he'll make a good case for himself. I won't be surprised in batting, but I think go with your batters.
Yeah, if you've gotten them in and you've given them so much confidence, it's time to Sarfaraz finally. I think it's time for him to. Good things find their way.
But then he will say, but I won't be surprised if Padikkal.
No, that's
Okay, Rajat Chatterjee, thank you so much for your kind comments. Why is there always a confusion for selecting a wicket keeper, you want to ask?
I mean, see, I'll cut a little bit of slack because you weren't expecting what happened with Pant to happen. On the other side, if your backup to Pant was KS Bharat, then I agree. Where's this confusion? You couldn't have more chalk and cheese players.
No, but see, okay, I'll just tell you now. At the moment, what we're getting to hear that you've made a call of going past KS Bharat for this test match, right? And I'm saying that when KS Bharat came in, he got you runs in domestic. He had been playing. There were good reports about him. What else do you expect? See, we are the ones who keep saying you're not giving focus to first class cricket. So basis that you picked him.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything wrong with that. The fact that he did not utilize that opportunity is another thing, and I think they've taken a call. I would also say that it's quite a bold call, because we were discussing it in the past that we were so used to saying that, sometimes Indian teams have been okay maintaining status quo, at least in the middle of the series, and they say, okay, let's continue with this rather than bringing a debutant. Maybe end of the series we'll take a call. That's also happened. I'm complimenting them if they've really decided. Then that is also an aggressive step in that sense. You're being proactive that you've decided to drop him, and you picked him, yes, but nobody at that time kind of envisioned that he will not really make his opportunity counts. By the way, if you see your wicket keepers, you've given them a good run and you've not had too much confusion. If you look at it, you had MS Dhoni, played for very long as a wicket keeper. After that, you went with Wriddhiman Saha, who played for very long. And then you needed to look at a transition after a Saha, and you went KS Bharat's way after his performances and what you done. It's not worked out that way, so you're going for another option.
And to be fair, they have been brave with trying to move past Bharat once. I mean, don't
Sorry,
forget.
then came Pant, I forgot. And then came back, he did well.
And then also, even in this situation, with Bharat's form after the WTC, they did drop him. They had brought in Ishan Kishan.
Yeah.
Now things didn't work out in that regard. Not entirely their fault.
They had dropped him from the squad itself because they had KL Rahul and Ishan Kishan. That's why. And then you got him back because you were apparently.
Who knew that disciplinary issues will also come?
Exactly.
Then you should have moved ahead now when you had already moved ahead. Like you've
how many choices do you have? How many choices?
You could have gone to Kumar, Kushagra. There are so many wicket keepers.
So you are going with the Dhruv Jurel now.
Now you are.
What else?
Now you are.
You're not, see, issue would have been if you went now with Wriddhiman Saha. Then you'd say, oh, now you're going back here, but not for Pujara.
But he's definitely making his case, Wriddhiman Saha.
No, but I'm saying, see, then the problem would have been there. You would have said, why not for a Pujara?
Exactly.
Again, so at least there is consistency in that. You may agree or not, but the consistency is that we want to rebuild. At least that message is clear, and I see clarity in that for every slot you're doing that. In Test cricket at least. Works out, doesn't work out, nobody knows.
Nilesh Sharma says, not asking for dropping Rohit, but Pujara, who's been playing well, should be allowed to serve the country, and age should not be a criteria. Dravid played till he was 39.
I mean, if you took the larger picture, maybe there is a case in point that you could have given Cheteshwar Pujara much longer rope, like you would have given a lot of other players. But if you look at even in the case of Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman, I think that they also at that moment when they retired did not think that it's the end. They also saw themselves playing a few more years. But India had a torrid run, 2 back-to-back 4-0 that happened. And at that time, I think whether it was a decision taken by them or were they nudged or whatever, but you wanted to look past even the greats like a Dravid and a Lakshman. Correct. So if that happened to them, then it's happening to Pujara as well.
Rakesh Bhushan says Ashwin was benched by Virat in pretty much the entirety of England series that were played under his captaincy. Majorly overseas, he used to sit out. He didn't quote mental issues, but why is a rookie behaving like a messiah? Very apples and oranges kind of comparison.
Ishan Kishan.
Yeah, because it's not like Ishan Kishan is guaranteed to be playing at least at home or in certain tours, very different circumstances.
No, and it was also like different
times.
No, different personalities also. How you react to a situation vis-a-vis how I react to a situation can be very different, right? Some people have, the thick skin as you call. They can take all of it and continue. Some probably don't have that kind of patience and just want to wait on. So maybe there is a huge difference between how Ishan Kishan reacted vis-a-vis which is the other option that
R.
Ashwin did. But R. Ashwin was lucky not to even play WTC when, by the way, just to extend on that, when Rohit was captain also. He didn't play the WTC final overseas condition. So it's not that when Virat was there, he was dropped, he didn't play. The captain changed, he still didn't play.
Correct. Okay. Wickham Ekanayake is saying, why not just create a custom-made team for each format? Not utilizing such a huge talent pool advantage seems like a missed opportunity, seriously. Just remembering what Hardik said a while back. Been saying it for so long, move past the idea of all format players.
Yeah. I also agree. I think you are going to move towards that. Anyway, even if you're not going to move, the players are going to make it easy for you to move. They are already starting to pick the format that they like. And dare I say, it's only moving towards one direction. Right now, Test cricket is by default your best batters you're playing. But maybe it's time that you, and I think this is then the onus is on the BCCI and selectors then to not reward good white ball performances with test spots. Then you take a hard call, and I think that needs to be done.
In certain cases, they'll make a IPL.
Why we?
Both Prasidh and Jirel played just 15 first-class matches each. Is this enough for selection? Yeah, but why we by that logic? Shoaib Bashir's played like 6, 7.
Yeah.
Hartley's played 10. They've done well. Let's be frank. Their spinners have outspun your spinners in terms of wickets and average. So I don't think that should be a selection. I think eye test is important in these matters.
Yeah.
And Prasidh was picked for a very specific reason when he was picked for South Africa. You said you're getting bouncy pitches. He's a hit the deck bowler. It didn't work out, it's another matter, but the thinking was right. I didn't mind that.
He was really highly rated since a very long time now.
Yeah.
Virat even came out once and said that he's really impressed with him.
Yeah, Virat said this in 21.
Since then.
Virat said this in 21, ahead of the 21 World Cup. 3 years later, we're still waiting for him to establish himself in any format.
He's been roaming around with the team since then only.
Yeah, I agree. He has been.
Okay, last couple of questions. Subhash Chandra Bharata says, ranked Fab 4 in Test cricket. Kane Mama is fastly becoming number 1. That is true.
I mean, yeah, in recent times, I think he's rediscovering his beast mode form in Tests.
In Test, you'd have to say Kane and Root are, because
Even
Smith has had a bit of a...
Overall, I'd say right now, Smith sits head and shoulders.
Yeah.
Because overall numbers, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm saying just recent form.
Recent form, then...
Kane 1, Root 2.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Because
Overall,
both of them have had a major revival.
Recent form.
Just recent form.
Just
Otherwise,
recent
if you have to look at overall, so then we don't need to be here. Then just open their
Then
records.
Steve Peter Smith is number 1, Kohli is number 2.
Open their records and say, right now.
I think Root is.
Root actually in terms of number of runs also would be up
Recent, no, but Kane and Root close. Okay, you could do Root 1 and Kane 2, whatever.
there. Yeah.
But they are 1 and 2.
They're 1 and 2 in terms of
Sure.
just test form.
Yeah.
Just test form.
Yeah, just test. I agree.
He's in
Best all format batter is Virat without doubt. Because I don't think anyone has managed.
No, none
to
of the
crack
others came close.
T20,
Yeah,
ODI. I think.
nobody.
Because see, Kane had blew hot and cold in T20s. Same with Smith, same with Root. Virat was the only one who consistently dominated across all formats.
Babar Azam isn't in top Fab. Fab 4.
Fab 5. I don't know what I
Okay,
was
last
yeah.
couple.
That was
Ginny Beasley is saying Ishan is playing in DY Patil but not Ranji. Why so? You know why? We discuss
You know
it
why?
every
Dil
day.
mein ki awaaz sunai dete.
But now let's see when the BCCI has taken a stern step. Let's see. Well, my only point is like, I mean, why does the BCCI has to send this message out of the way taking a stern step? This
And
should
also-
have happened earlier only. No?
And also,
Those are your players who are contracted to you. It's like you're working in this office.
and you're telling me don't freelance.
Or someone has to request you to do it.
Or don't freelance, please. Like I'm on an exclusive contract to this company. I technically can't be.
Yeah.
No, and also, why do you need to crack the whip to the point where you're telling everyone to play? What if there are players who don't want to play red ball?
Yeah, but then they should say it. And I think you should drop them at that
You
stage.
should just say, okay, fine, we'll consider you for white ball, not for red ball.
Yeah.
That's a better way to go about than this. First, you went too liberal, where you're like, we'll select you for tests if you have good IPLs.
Yeah.
Now you're like, everyone has to play red
Exactly.
ball. They're both extreme approaches.
Exactly.
And suddenly you switch to this extreme approach.
Okay, final question. Daniel M says India's T20 side might struggle against West Indies, New Zealand, and Australia.
West Indies today, by the way, had a phenomenal match against Australia. Andre Russell, oof.
I am telling you that first time in many years, India would be going into an ICC trophy. I'm talking about the T20 World Cup, where they won't necessarily be in the top 2 favorite teams.
I'm saying not even the top 4.
Exactly.
according
Maybe.
to me.
All I'm saying is that I can't think of a single ICC tournament, 50 over or T20, where India was not in the top 2, 3
No,
teams.
2021, I think India wasn't.
Yeah, of course you were.
2021, I think you weren't.
Of course you were.
2021, you shot yourself in the foot.
You shot, but who?
You were in the top 3, yeah.
but
That's
Not-
exactly
not
what
in
I'm
the top
saying.
2.
Who had predicted India lose to Pakistan the first game?
Yeah,
And who
yeah.
predicted that they'd
See,
not
the
make it beyond the
result
group
did
stages?
not come that
That
way. Don't look
was-
at it in hindsight. I'm saying based on all the conversations before a tournament, I can't think of a single ICC tournament in more than a decade where India went in not being one of the top 3, 4 team. Possibly this could be the very first tournament in my living memory where India may not be that.
Yeah,
I think people
the
will
top
talk.
4 teams here could be going in would be Australia,
England.
New Zealand, England,
Windies.
Windies.
Trust me, this Windies team, they've brought back some of their freelancers and are looking dangerous.
By the way, even the Pakistan teams
Yeah,
had a better
I was
T20
going to
record.
say. I was going to get to that, but then I remembered how they actually manage all their players.
2021 they beat you with the T20 World Cup.
And that too with 2 anchors.
2022 you
They almost beat you.
by a mind-boggling inning. That, but they reached the final.
Exactly.
So in terms of seeding, they'll still be
Ahead of you.
Yeah,
They are.
they. You did not make the first round there. You played a semis, then they played the final. So
And see, look at
big
the
difference, and
look
they
at-
played the semis previously as well.
And look at this
Yeah.
look at this 11 of the West Indies. It's crazy good.
Yeah.
Johnson, Charles, Kyle Mayers are your openers. Puran is your 3. Justin Chase, Robin Paul, Rutherford. Russell's coming in at 8. That's embarrassing.
You have Holder also, Akil Hussain and Alzari Joseph.
That means you're batting till 10. That is embarrassing because Akil Hussain is a bowling all-rounder.
Left arm.
This time, I mean, I'm not to say that India can't make the semis. Or I'm saying this time, what happened previous ICC tournament, you could clearly pick your 3 or 4, and you knew that this is what the semi is going to be. Barring now there'll be 6, 7 teams, and you wouldn't be surprised if either one of them misses out.
Correct.
You wouldn't be, and India could be one of those. I mean, that's how close that
See,
competition.
India will make the Super 6 because again they have a good
Definitely.
group. But Super 6
You
and
think they'll
beyond-
make it to the Super 6 because they have a good group, or they're
Yeah, because
this
you
much
have a
they
very easy group.
have
Let's be
time.
frank.
So if they would have been in a difficult group,
if
you
they
think
were in the
they're
group
not
of
even in the
death-
top 6.
Yes, if they were in the group of death, like I think one group has Australia, England, and something.
Yeah.
There's one group. If they were in that group, I would not be fancying my chances, my friend. No.
Even I wouldn't.
Actually, this group is very kind to you because you have USA, Canada, etc.
And Pakistan. Do you have? Yeah, you have
Yeah, of
Pakistan.
course, your first match is Pakistan.
You have to. No, your first match is in Pakistan. Isn't it?
Your Pakistan match is on 9th. Your first
Oh,
game
9th
is
is-
on
Fifth is first.
yeah.
Fifth is your first match. I think it's against
Ireland.
Yeah.
Also in T20 cricket, dicey team. Ireland.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
Afghanistan,
if
yeah.
Josh Little does well.
Even Uganda has come this time.
Yeah, but
No, I'm not
They've
pushing, but,
ruled
but
out Zimbabwe.
Afghanistan, Ireland in T20 cricket.
you can actually hope of them getting a
given
result.
day, never know.
I mean, even if, dare I say, if there was Zimbabwe there, remember what they did to Pakistan in 2022?
Zimbabwe
that-
is not there.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not because Uganda made it. I know.
Uganda.
Yeah, but Pakistan tends to do that also to themselves.
But then they went on to play the final. They lost to India, Zimbabwe, and then went on to play the final. That's why Pakistan is what they are today.
Agreed.
Oh, God.
Again,
Completely agree.
why I always like them so much because they're individual players, they're really nice.
They just don't
You
form
like
a
them
team.
because you don't know what they're going to do. They themselves don't know.
No,
what
I
to do.
really see
They
someone
are
like
such mavericks,
Sai
they
Mayoob,
themselves don't
Azam
know.
Khan, Fakhar Zama, and then you have who's this other opener they have?
Rizwan,
No,
Babar.
Asad Shafi.
who this one person I'm not able to recall his name right now.
Anyway, move.
Yeah. They have Iftikhar Chachu.
Chachu.
They have
Same age as Kohli. He is?
Yeah.
On paper, he is. Biryani.
That's why I really like their team if they actually like play without their Virat and Rohit and they play with their youngsters.
Who are they? There?
Their
Babar
Virat
and Rizwan.
You don't want them to play.
No, if they I don't think they make it in their 11.
Really?
I mean, to be fair, see, let's be honest. Even when they were opening, they were the conservative mold batters. India made them look phenomenal because you had a target of 155. So 180 probably would have been that easy also.
Anyway, that's a discussion
For another
for
time.
another day because we have 4 months to go. So we'll talk about that thing.
It'll come sooner than you think, trust me.
Because IPL.
IPL,
will zip
T20
past.
World Cup, Olympics, it's a blockbuster summer 2024.
Okay, take care. Thank you so much for your company. Tomorrow, previewing the test match in Rajkot with more updates. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night. Vanakkam. Nandri. Shabba khair. Shubhratri. And
Don't trouble your mother, eat your vegetables.